So good morning, everybody. First of all, thank you for coming. I know we're not a lot of people, but after the first night, I think that people are still looking for their coffee or they have to wake up. But I'm very happy to see such a senior level here sitting here with us. Small audience, but thank you so much. We absolutely appreciate it. Today, we'll, as mentioned, day two of the GCCM and on the messaging side, and of course on the enterprise side, the first day. We're going to talk about the digital cloud and IoT investments today and tomorrow. But trust me, it's more tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So it's coming at us. It's there. It's live, and we have to watch out for it. Having said that, I'm very proud and very honored to have such fantastic panel next to me and with me. I'll give them a quick word to introduce themselves, say something, and then we're going to move immediately into two fantastic presentations. And for me, it's now to say nothing anymore, just to thank ZOI. So Zain Omantel International for sponsoring the session. And Huda, if I may start with you, please.
Thank you, Eric. It's always a pleasure to be with you in your panel. My name is Huda Al-Ghabshi. I'm from Oman, and I'm Senior Manager Capacity in Submarine. I'm responsible of bringing data, securing local of the content to promote the digital cloud and IoT and IoT. And yeah, I'm happy to be with you here. And I forgot to say that I'm from the Zain Omantel International, which a new joint venture between Zain and Omantel, which I will talk about it later. Thank you.
Thank you. Nasya?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Nasya Skulikariti. I will say that I'm a technologist, meaning that been in the industry for 27 years, from voice to messaging to data to IoT, and who knows what will come next. I'm the VP of IoT for GTC, amongst other things, and I'm really happy to be here. I'll keep it, Eric, short and sweet so we can move on.
Thank you, because we only have 45 minutes and only 43 to go. We're going to listen to Gergana sitting next to me in a minute, and she'll do her introduction. So let's go to the US, San Jose. Roy, welcome.
Thank you, Eric, and thank you for having me virtually. I wish I was there in person. Hopefully, I'll be there physically next time. It's probably a lot more fun in Berlin than it is in San Jose at this point in time. So, but glad to be here. I run a small research and advisory firm called AvidThink. We cover infrastructure technologies and work with a wide range of customers, including service providers, multiple tiers, as well as hyperscalers and many of the network equipment and ISV ecosystem.
Okay, thank you, Roy, and thank you for being up that early. I know after this one you can go back to bed again, right?
Yeah,
So
no, hopefully I'm still coherent. Thank you. Yes.
Of course you are. So as mentioned, this is the round of specialists and experts we have around the table. And if I may invite Gergana now to the let's say the stage, and to start with her presentation, and we're gonna listen kindly and nicely to what she has to tell us, because sometimes we listen only to the people out of our small industry. We want to know and learn from other industries as well. So the floor is yours, Gergana, please.
Thank you. So going other way around.
All good.
Technology, energy in business transition. Probably you are already wondering what does it have to do with you? Telecommunication, enterprise, and so on. Energy business is usually very conservative one, and we and that is very clear, because in the last years, when we spoke about energy, we thought about electrical infrastructure on supply or demand side, and it is very cost intensive to build such kind of infrastructure. Therefore, it wasn't very dynamic in the past. But in the last years, lately, we experience digital transformation, and through IoT and cloud technology, much has changed. So I'm very excited to show you some trends where the future goes, and also to give you an idea what we at Schneider Electric are doing for our customers in order to stay on the top of the transformation. First, short words about me. I am electrical engineer working for Schneider Electric. When I started my first job, everybody was speaking about digitalization and IoT. Now I must say that in last year, so what has changed? We speak a lot about sustainability, and sustainability is a key word not only in the energy field, but it's key word in almost every industry. From one side, because there are regulations that force companies to be sustainable, but from another side, the customer like it. The customer wants sustainable products from sustainable companies. And here it's where it goes. Now, a short introduction about our company, about Schneider Electric. We say a known giant. We are quite big, 135,000 employees in almost every country in the world. And we are in two sectors, in industrial automation and energy management. You probably don't know us because we are doing very, very less for end user and consumer segment. However, we are focused. I am personally focused in the field of energy efficiency, and the examples that I give you, it's from this field, how the business is developed and how all the innovations are going on. I'm very proud that 5% of our sales, they go for research and development, so that we can do innovation, we can continue doing innovation for our customers. Then, so if you, the chance is small, but if you know us, you probably know us from the products on the bottom line, connected products that are typical devices that you find in the electrical distribution. We say that you can find us everywhere where current is flowing, from the transformation station to the power plant, all the devices. And in last years, we changed a bit, we changed our portfolio. 80% of our devices are smart. So they are able to communicate with each other, but also they can bring data to the next level, to the edge control. And there we have different solutions according to the segment, according to the customer needs. We build on the top of the second level edge control on premise or in cloud, another level, and that is apps, analytics, and services. Here we use the data we analyze, and we can give some recommendation. We can put our expertise as manufacturer so our customers make most of their infrastructure. And here I promise you about some global trends, and here they are. In energy field, we have the forecast that until 2050, the energy consumption will double. So we will consume double so much energy as today from one side. And from other side, we need to reduce our CO2 emissions. So that's the energy dilemma. We want to consume more from one side, from other side, we need less emissions. And the only way to achieve this conflict is to be more efficient and to be more sustainable. And that's only possible with using technology. We can do optimization of electrical efficiency only if we know what is the status quo, where energy is consumed. And this technology, that's hidden in IoT, it's hidden in cloud, and that's where we go. Another trend that we experience, that is decentralization. In the past, we had big power plants, and today we have many renewable energy. They need to be controlled. And how they should be controlled? Of course, again, cloud and IoT technology. Last but not least, we see also the trend of digitalization. Much more devices than people in next year are going to be. There are some other trends that are independent of the energy sector, and that is the energy crisis. And of course, climate change. That's something that the energy sector experience, but everyone else will. And we need, of course, to take action in this field. Companies after Corona, we faced a lot of challenges. And I think everyone's understood that we need to be more resilient in order to overcome the situations, all the possible situations that are coming in the future. And another problem that we experience in development countries, that is missing people. And I will focus about the last part, skill set shortage that we see in developed world, because we have a solution, and that's technological solution that I tell you a bit more. Our solution, that is EcoCare. In the past, there were people who were maintaining electrical distribution, but as today there are always less and less electricians and people who can do this on the market. Not only here, but almost every country's experienced people are missing. So we come up to the idea to use technology. So almost all our devices are communicative, and they can give information about their status. They can produce alarms if something is not going as it should be. And this data go in a system that has analytics to do preventive maintenance. So if some device in your electrical distribution is not doing well, the system health is going down, and you will get an alarm. You can take very early actions before something bad has happened. Simple concept, but yeah, it works. And here just a flavor of the service that we can have. Through technology, we can our customers can have access to small experts team all around the world, all time zones. Additionally, we have data from electrical equipment from the time of installation through whole the life cycle of the device. So we know what is happening in every moment. We have real-time information, and we can take actions. We use also virtual reality for purpose of training and maintenance services, remote. That's customer management team. It's part of our solution, so that we can offer the best service. So here it's where it go. That's one example from energy industry, how we utilize IoT and cloud technologies. And now I would forward the word.
Thank you so much. Is there any questions for Gargana, guys? Yes, please. The microphone is coming to you.
Thank you. Neven from Netera. You mentioned that 80% of your devices are smart devices. Do they follow some industry standard for smart devices like Matter or something like that? Or is it proprietary? And how does that, what are your plans there?
So we our devices are smart by design and they are cyber secure by design. We use established industry standards, ICE standards that are typical for the industry. Example, Modbus, RTU, Modbus TCP. That are just some ideas about standards.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Can I add quickly something to this?
Please,
Because
Nasya,
you mentioned
please.
Matter, and just most of the devices that you will find in the industry that have been produced before this year, the year before, they will not follow Matter because Matter is a newer type standard that we will see more and more going forward. That said, most device suppliers and manufacturers should move that direction because we need that cohesiveness in the ecosystem when it comes to device security and design and so on and so forth. But you'll find more of the future devices using Matter than what's been already established.
So just to follow up on this question, so you do consider Matter to be a professional enough to be used in industry applications, is that correct?
Correct, yes. I do, and a lot of experts in the industry, they think so. So it didn't come from me, by the way, so I wasn't part of, but yes, Matter should be considered. And we need to get the ecosystem working together because it's so disparate. And that's why Matter was developed, right, as a standard.
Okay, thank you for your question. And Gergana, thank you so much. And if you would like to join me, thank you so much. And Huda, if I may ask you immediately to continue with our second presentation, and you will take it away for sure. Thank you, Huda.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And it's lovely to be here again. And I really salute you for choosing different expertise and from different fields for such a panel. And yeah, I'm going to start with my presentation. We are Zain Amantel International, responsible of the wholesale in different countries. This is a new joint venture between Zain and Amantel, where all the wholesale arms are separated from the mother companies and coming under one company now. We are responsible of previously, actually, I was from Oman, so previously I was handling only Oman as a country. Now our footprint is expanding. We are covering Oman, KSA, Bahrain, Kuwait, Iraq, Jordan, Sudan, and South Sudan. So yeah, there is a lot of opportunity for us to work together. Why I am here? Because I'm honored to be like one as a company, one of the cloud enablers in this country, in this region. I mean, where we really believe that the Middle East can be the hub of telecommunication. So, for example, we are almost having more than 16 submarine cables. We considered ourselves to be the hub, to be the gateway, to the Europe, to Asia, to Africa, and to Australia, where we have a lot of submarine cables and bringing lots of data. And I believe we are one-stop content shop where we have very good collaboration with Equinix, where we had a JV for the first neutral data center in Oman. When I mean neutral, it is like purely neutral. All the companies are already there. We managed in Oman to localize now more than 90% of the content. So all the hyperscalers, cloud content providers are already set in Oman, and we are able to serve all the region from Oman itself. We are working also to have another 2 neutral data centers. This is the region where we are operating. The first one is, as I already discussed, is MC1. The second one will be Salah, which is in the bottom of Oman, SN1. And we are planning to have another data center in Dubai in Saudi Arabia. So all of this will enable us to bring more content to the region and to serve locally from the region. And this will help the low latency, the immediate response of IoT. And yeah, right, the new wave of connectivity. This is a new slogan. I need to, to practice it. Thank you so much, and looking forward for the panel.
Thank you so much. Now let's get Roy back into it and then immediately move into our panel discussion because we have to rush. We only have, let's say, 20 minutes to go, and we would like to cover a couple of topics. So, Nasia, if I may start with you. I mean, we're talking about the digital cloud and the IoT investments. You know, today, tomorrow, we saw it already on the enterprise side where Schneider Electric is actually doing everything and showing us all the investments they're doing to make sure that everything is smart and to make sure that the services and products are on the table, which we use from A to Z in full edge, whatever. We just saw that you know, with the huge amount of investments of what Omantel did in the past and what Zain and Omantel International are doing currently is also amazing. Let's go one step back, and especially on the cloud and on the IoT. What is the landscape? What are we talking about? What kind of trends do you see? I mean, a lot of people are talking more and more, let's say, about the IoT, right? But it's not always clear for everybody. What are we exactly talking about? So could you just kick it off, helping me by sharing with the audience, where do we start? And what trends do you see?
Okay, sure. I can paint the landscape for you guys.
And she's a painter by herself.
Hence the
True
words
that.
that I chose. So IoT has just been, I would say, misunderstood for many various reasons. It's an umbrella of different technologies, right? It's not one thing. So it encompasses a lot of things, and digital cloud is one of the elements of the ecosystem. So let's taking a step back, let's talk about the ecosystem itself. We're talking about devices, edge devices. Schneider Electric show us what they can do with their devices. We're talking about connectivity, you know, and ZOI is very well entrenched in the connectivity world. We're talking about the platforms and software. And those have been around for a long time. It's just given different worlds. Remember integration, remember big data. So nothing new there. It's been around for the past 20, 30 years. And we're talking about analytics, which also been around for a long time, what we're doing with AI and ML and how we're going to use it. And I'm condensing the ecosystem in a few key elements to just paint the picture there when it comes to IoT. So that's IoT. What is IoT? It's connected things, taking physical objects, embedding different technology and making them smart. So it could be from a laptop to a mobile to smart fridges to industrial type of solutions. And why is important to us? Our world is becoming more and more connected. We like it or not, everything is going to be interconnected. We all going to be communicating. I mean, you've heard we have Neuralink now, got approval. So the next thing is embedding our brains with new senses. Okay, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. Don't worry. So it will be a long discussion, but bring it back to the technology itself. So digital cloud, because this discussion is about digital cloud, which is an element of the ecosystem together with IoT, is creating the ecosystem. When the digital cloud itself, you heard of Amazon, you know, what does it do? It is services that are offered from data centers to connectivity, to AI, to analytics. So it brings to the ecosystem the technology, you know, the backbone to create these so-called IoT solutions, right? So, and I'm trying to keep it simple so I can paint the picture in a way that's understood for everyone. And the ecosystem, like I said, it includes the robotics, you know, blockchain. You can add all the different kind of things.
Okay, I think this is sort of, and thank you, Nasia, for just setting the pace. What is it? Where does it come from? And what can it do? Now, Roy, over to you. Digital, you know, landscape, you know, the digital cloud and IoT landscape. What can you see? What is your view on it, please?
Yeah, so I think NASA did a great job in terms of a comprehensive view of all the elements, starting from the device itself, across connectivity onto the cloud side, and then from the bottom all the way up. I think, that's sort of certainly a view of what's going on there. And I think I'll just add to that in terms of what I'm seeing and what's happening. And within the realm of what you described, which is across on the device side, what we're seeing on the evolution is improved platforms for developing IoT. So IoT platforms coming from various manufacturers, including the cloud providers who also want to play in there. And obviously, if you use a certain cloud provider's platform, obviously it works very well with their storage, their cloud, their analytics, right? So that's definitely happening. In addition to that, from a device platform perspective, we're also seeing evolution on the connectivity side that NASA described. So, from the various connectivity technologies, from Bluetooth Low Energy to Zigbee and all those historically, or LoRaWAN, now to more 5G type connectivity, and both the public elements of 5G and potentially private 5G in an industrial type setting as well. So seeing that element of evolution on the connectivity. And then if you look at what's happening on the cloud side, certainly the cloud is evolving. Talked about AI ML, which is always with us. It's going to be with us for much longer. Big data analytics, not so cool anymore. AI ML analytics, cooler. But you know what? The reality is it's big data. It's not going to go away. The same technology, same techniques are going to continue. And expanded in digital twin capabilities. So I think it'd be easier to build digital twin platforms for simulation, for troubleshooting, for deployment. And I think that's part of the ecosystem evolution. And from the cloud side, we're seeing edge computing as an expansion also of the cloud capabilities in the more local locations. Certainly, we already had IoT gateways in the past, but we're seeing more continuum in terms of where you can do the compute, the storage of IoT data. And then finally, what we're seeing is IT-OT convergence from a platform perspective. A lot of sort of IT technologies coming into OT, making it easier to program and to deal with operational technologies. And depending on whether you classify AR, VR technologies within IoT, we're seeing evolution along those elements as well. And I think the one overarching thing I keep seeing around IoT is security and trust, and I don't think that's going to go away. The thing that's gone away is blockchain. Normally, you would see blockchain if it was last year or the year before, and the title of presentation, that seems to be a lot less popular. Not saying it's gone away. I think, it's been overhyped. I think there is value, but we're seeing a lot less of it mentioned, at this point in time as well. So just building on top of what Nas had just said, some of the things we see.
Okay, thank you so much, Nas.
Yes, I want to clarify something for the audience from what Roy was just mentioning, because just to ensure that when we're talking about digital twins, right, think about it, because a lot of you know about synthetic data and anonymizing the data. So when it comes to IoT, when you build a twin, a digital twin, is you almost, to put it simplistically, you build a synthetic view of your network, your architecture, and so on and so forth. Now, why is this important? Because you can test a lot of things before you put them live. And where there is a cross now between digital twins and the metaverse and what's happening with the metaverse, and it's going to expand even more, because everything will become, the synthetic world will play a bigger role in the overall infrastructure. Just want to make sure that the audience understands some of the colloquialisms that we use within the industry so they can put it in context.
Okay, thank you so much. So, Irgena, for you, it's all good what I hear, but how do I make money out of it? I mean, by the end of the day, we all need to pay the bills, right? I mean, you just mentioned you have 137,000 people working in the group only. There are not a lot of big telcos anymore who, have that many people. I mean, I used to be part of a big one. I mean, we have, of course, Max here from Deutsche Telekom in there, who is pretty close, but so it's quite huge, and especially also on the investment side. So where is the money coming out? What is driving actually the revenue growth? Because That's why you're investing, right?
Yes, yes. So
How do I make money with it?
of course, there is a classical business, and as a manufacturer, that is a product business, very, very open said. But that's where we make money today, but that's not where we will make money tomorrow. And I don't speak only for us as Schneider Electric, but that's something that I see for all product manufacturer. Everyone is moving from product to services and to solutions. So in order to build a solution, co-solution for your customer, you need to work with partners. And it's very important to choose the right partner. I spoke about sustainability. It's something that is coming, and in energy field, it's coming sooner as in other industries. So it's important to have also sustainable partners, because your solutions are made of different sub-solutions with from different products, and everything must be on the same level, higher standards. But now it comes additionally the sustainability as a topic. That's the one side of the where we are going when it comes to monetarization. And the other thing is, of course, software. And due to all the crisis that we experience, there is another trend, and that is recurring business. Now, we and many companies on the market, they say one-shot services, but in the future, we need to learn. The industry should learn from telcos. We need to sell a recurring, and that's much more resilient to crisis. It doesn't matter, is it COVID, is it energy crisis, but that's where we go, recurring business.
Okay, thank you. Now, going from the enterprise to the wholesale, Huda, I mean, Gergana just said the word partnership, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you are the latest example actually in our industry. You know what partnerships means in the form of a JV, in a joint venture between Zain and Omantel. So where from, let's say, the new organization, and again, congratulations on that one. Where do you see, let's say, that the money will be made? Where will the money come from? What you know, especially, you know, on the enormous investments that you are doing in the digital cloud and the IoT. Where's it coming?
From OTTs and CDNs.
Yeah, that full stop. That's it.
The thing is, we had really put a lot of investment on submarine to bring content. And for us, the customer experience is the most important thing. Like low latency, immediate response for the IoT devices. This is very crucial factor for success. So how we are doing this, we are bringing all the content and all the OTTs providers like next to the customer. So all these kind of technology will be more reasonable to be purchased, the devices to be purchased, or even to be utilized. Now, everything you can see is doing through the AI or edge computing. Like even for me, because last time when I came to Berlin, I didn't have time to see the place. So I put in the chat GPT, prepare one day trip in Berlin, and everything was already there. So all this will not happen without the connectivity. And this is where we are standing. This is our priority, is to bring the connectivity to the region. We are focusing more into the Middle East region.
Okay, well, not only Middle East. I mean,
Yeah,
you connect
yeah.
Australia to the
Yeah.
Middle East as the only one in the world.
Yes,
so.
the only one. It's Oman Australia cable coming
Exactly.
all the way from Australia to Oman.
Directly, not with the
Yes.
with the thing, guys, not
Yeah.
directly. So
Yeah.
amazing. Nas, and then I want to come to Roy, but Nas, for you, I mean, how should I phrase it? I want to phrase actually a couple of things in one. Okay. How do we build the ecosystem to serve the true digital transformation? that goes actually beyond the optimization needs. I mean, again, I was talking about it, but how to do it? How can we fix that?
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about digital transformation, right? And then the ecosystem, because it's important to touch about digital transformation. So there is two elements there. There's the external element and the internal element. When we're talking about the ecosystem, we need to talk about the external ecosystem, which is the partnerships that they were mentioned before, so we can connect all the different elements under the umbrella of the digital world. But we often forget the internal transformation within an organization and the internal ecosystem, which is equally as important, if not more important, because no digital transformation will succeed until and unless internally the organization has transformed themselves to take care of what needs to be
So you
taken
also
care.
need the investment in your human assets
Investment
and
in-
in your processes.
Absolutely, because digital transformation is not just technology. And we've been talking a lot about technology here today. We need to talk about operations, we need to talk about processes, and we need to talk about people. And the one key thing is we all heard about all the layoffs that it's happening in an industry, right? That's a lot of humans. Upskilling of those humans, making sure they understand our vision and our mission within the organization. Why should they be interested about this new world of technology and IoT and cloud, digital cloud and commuting if they don't understand it, if they're not trained enough? How can we make sure that the products make money if operationally we're not prepared to ensure that we can handle this new product, we can handle this new world? So we need to look at both. You asked me, how do we get it done? First, we take care of our own home, and then we look at everybody else's home, to put it, bluntly. So internal digital transformation, operations, processes, people, and of course, technology, best of breed. Then the external ecosystem, partnerships, the different technology connecting, and strong go-to-market where it makes sense. Because in the end of the day, people ask me, IoT, nobody's making money. That's not true. People are making good money now. And not only, on the services and solutions, which is important to move up the scale, but even connectivity providers, if we're going to stay only in connectivity. I'll give you an example. A very large MNO in South Africa, one of the largest ones, makes over 100 million revenue a year
There
for
you
one
go.
country. So that said, there's money and is the future, and connectivity makes only 7% of the ecosystem. And I'm sure Roy will cover the rest of the ecosystem. I'll give him a chance.
Roy, the floor is yours, my friend.
Yeah, well, that's a big stack, right? I mean, connectivity is, generally speaking, I mean, Nasia is absolutely right. One of the things that we always talk about is, and when we work with the service providers, doesn't matter which tier, there's always this stack diagram that we bring in, right? And your connectivity is between 5 to 10%, right? We say, oh, look, here's your piece. And then we say, oh, look, here's the other piece of it, that 90% that you should be able to take some of, and that's your platform, your middleware, your analytics, your storage, your computing of data. And the service provider usually looks at it and says, well, that's pretty cool. How do I get there? And then we say, you got to move up the stack. But I think I just want to re-emphasize what Nasia said, which is to move up the stack is easy to say. We can all come in and say that. But to move up the stack, when we are working with the connectivity provider, turns out to be more of an internal challenge than it is an external challenge. And I think for us to move forward, for ecosystem to succeed, I think there needs to be appropriate allocation of the profits and the revenue and the profits across that stack, across all the players. And anytime you get any kind of mismatch, or when your profits are not aligned with the costs and the efforts or the fixed investment to deliver that, then you're going to have challenges in terms of the uptake. And I think we're figuring out how to do that. We're working with more collaboration between the connectivity providers, of which I'm sure there's a lot in the room, the actual application developers as well for the IoT stack, and then in between which tend to involve a lot of OTTs today, a lot of the hyperscalers and the cloud providers today. And I think that's collaboration is starting to happen. I think we're working out what kind of IoT software stacks, we're working out how to monetize it on a connectivity basis, because I think as we talk about connectivity is important, and you want to provide that quality of experience, quality of service to the devices, and we need to be able to find ways to charge for that. And that I think is happening in the ecosystem, but it's a collaboration, it's a standardization in terms of how to talk between the layers, and not just from the device to the cloud, but anything in between. And it's also the application IoT providers' ability to talk to the network, to ask for visibility analytics, and also to ask for quality of service that eventually someone will pay for from the network itself. And I think we're seeing that evolve. It's taking time, because every year is a year of IoT for what, 10, 15 years now. And I think let's forget about looking for the year of IoT. I think let's figure out actually how to go make it work, and stop focusing on whether this is the year of IoT, right?
I'll add a small framework for our audience to remember what Roy just said and what I was saying earlier, the 4 Ps, folks, which is people, processes, products, and exactly. So it's easier to remember digital transformation when you're talking about that, rather than if that's not fixed, we can create beautifully wrapped products. Would we sell them? Will they work? So fix those, everything else can work.
Well, and a question to you, Gagana, and then later to the round here. Will 5G, will that be a game changer? Will that, especially on the connectivity side, will it bring, let's say, more or higher growth of revenue streams? What do you think? Will 5G be a game changer?
So there are a lot of possibilities. And the question is, of course, how the industry is going to use those possibilities. So it's clear where it goes. It's clear that if we have more data, we can do more virtual reality, for example. And then for sure, new business models are coming.
Okay, thank you. Ladies?
5G. All right. So it's already changing where it's available. I'm going to say where it's available.
So it is a game changer.
It is a game changer in many different areas, and it's the higher speeds, it's a lower latency. It is everything that is encompassing, and it's helping. It does help propagate connected services because all of that. It's in certain industries that is required more than others, whereas speed is needed. Let's look at healthcare, some industrial areas where you really need to have super low latency. Where we see the developments of 5G is more on a private 5G environment within the industries. And I think for our audience, where 5G will play a bigger role and it will be a game changer is when you combine CPaaS and 5G, so richer APIs, utilizing the 5G framework, then you can look at security, you can look at lower latency, you can look at geolocation. So taking the CPaaS level through 5G in the 5G framework, elevated to a different, so then you have what is called now the new age CPaaS. So just to bring IoT and CPaaS and 5G all together.
New age, that brings me to, I'm the older guy. New age, that was not funny, by the way, laughing about that. I'm getting older, but new age was actually a music thing in the 80s. Some guys would still know, right? But anyway, it was good. No, but okay, fully understood, and thank you. Now, I know I'm a pain in the, because it's, again, we're coming to the end of the round because of the time, and there are 5 other panels to go, and we have the honorable guy here who's also will do, of course, a nice panel here as a colleague. Closing round, diving into the future. If I may start with you, Roy, what do we need to do, or what should we look out for? What's there?
Sure. So I think, it's a couple of things. I think we started off with a question on actually standardization and Matter, and whether it's Matter or some other standards, so it's more of the industrial type standards around your OPC standards, OPC Unified Architecture, or whatever it is you pick. I think some level of standardization needs to happen. That's more modern than the old Ethernet IP, ProfitNet, Profitbus, Modbus stuff. And I think that's sort of one element of it, standardization, so that we can get scale. The second thing I think actually that's important, at least to me, as well as security, I think one of the worries I do have is that the prevalence of IoT and digitization of everything is great. But the more we digitize, we don't make the same advancements around security and trust in the platforms. I think we're asking for a lot of trouble as we go forward. And it's becoming more and more life critical as these systems operate in the automobiles, healthcare, not just the factories. I mean, obviously we have nuclear power plants and the like, and I think it's important incumbent upon the industry to make sure that the security advances at the same speed as all the cool AI, ML analytics and all the other elements. And then I think the third element is more standardized platforms, wherever they may come from, to make it easier to digitize. I think IoT is pretty cool. It's wonderful, but smart everything requires, I think, more sort of platform views where you basically make it easier for developers to build smart, secure, scalable IoT solutions as we go forward. So I think that's my expectations and some of what I'm seeing going forward. And I think that will come in with collaboration between all the different parties, including especially, I think, the connectivity providers and the OTT, whether it's the software stacks, whether it's the database analytics, the cloud providers. I expect to see more of that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. Huda, what should we look out for? What's out there? What exciting things do you see coming forward, or things we should do?
I think digital transformation is already happening, but we need to be the enablers as all of us, the partners in the ecosystem of IoT and digital cloud. There are a lot of aspects that we need to work on it, like enhancing the utilization of big data, the latency, from connectivity part, as well as I agree with NASA that there are a couple of things that needs to work all together, like processes, people, partnership, and price. If we do all of this, but again, if the price is very high, who will utilize it then? Thank you.
There's the challenge. Ariana, what is your takeaway for the audience?
I keep it very quickly, very shortly. Sustainability. That's topic that is coming, and I'm very convinced that in the future we will speak much more about this.
Okay, thank you. Closing statement.
All
Yes,
right.
Nasia,
So
the floor is yours.
I think Roy highlighted all the key elements around the industry, from regulation to security and everything in between. I think Hoda, as she mentioned about the human element and also the Gargana with sustainability. I will highlight one key area, which is training the resources, upskilling our people, making sure they understand what the future will bring, because what is coming down is it's inevitable. Connectivity, the identity of things, of everything, and identity of human, the Internet of Things and the Internet of Everything, it is inevitable. So understanding what we are dealing with and the implication around it, especially the security implications around it, is extremely important. And the industry overall and everybody who's part of an organization needs to ensure that our people understand what they're going to be dealing with. That's very important.
And with those words, we would like to close the session. I would like to thank, first of all, the panelists. Roy, I know we're going to hear more from you later on, because you're in a panel with, of course, my honorable colleague from Cambridge Management, and later on. So have a nap, have a sleep, do so. And,
Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna need it. Yes. Appreciate it. I'll be back.
And thank you so much. It's an honor having you, and good luck for the rest of the day. Huda, always more than a pleasure, and thank you very much for
Thank you, sir.
joining, and also for Zain and Amantel International to sponsor this session. Thank you so much, because we learned, Kariana, thank you also from the enterprise. We're also here at the Enterprise Summit, guys. So that's why we try to bring in and to learn, and to see the views and the insight from the other part where we have no clue what's going on. And hopefully we could have given you in the 45 minutes, which passed like 2 seconds actually, to give you some insights on this one. We're going to talk more and more in more panels of it. I'll be preparing this thing behind me on the Global Awards. So you're lucky. You got rid of me of this day, but I'll be back tomorrow. But I'll give you in the fantastic hands of this gentleman later on. And of course, Nasia, thank you so much again for your contribution and everything. And
Pleasure.
and with this, guys, thank you so much. Have a great day. Enjoy. Smile, because life is too beautiful. And
Thank you.
see you soon.
Eric,
Thank you.
I would like to take this opportunity to
Please.
invite everyone to GCCM Muscat, which will happen in November in Oman. So it will be very great to see you there. It will be a good weather. It's not very hot, but it will be a good weather.
It
Thank
will
you
not-
so much.
But no, it is always there. Fantastic weather. Just before the winter for the people out of Europe, please come, and because you will be, you're a better person when you come back from Muscat. So thank you for that, guys. Okay, we'll close it down. Thank you.